Hi. I wanted to say, that I got a new bedroom set. Live Omega Forever Perump. So I hope everybody, I am broke. I'm really broke. I had to borrow money. And I'm like, oh my God, and went on this, my daughter is here and it's, you know, uh, expensive. So anyway, I'm hoping that you are enjoying yourself and that I have these really neat things, they're called Cheba Chews, you know. So anyway, yesterday, Natasha, her friend Rachel, and her boyfriend Mike, and myself, we went over to the Galleria at Sunset, and it's a really nice mall. I like to see the mall doing as well as it has because when when I went to that mall, when I started going to it, that mall was very empty. There was a lot of empty stores. When you go to a mall and you see like a little store here and a little store there, and they're doing all fairly well. And I like that. We went first to Hot Topic. And I got my shirt and my pants. See, got my shirt and pants. See? Da, 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 da. Well, actually, I can show you here my outfit. La, da, da. Yeah, it's different. I've never had an outfit quite like this, but they have two pockets like on the side, like big ones I could put my phone in, on the sides, like right here. And then I got this one, the same one. I could put pockets on the side, it's like right here. What I have found out in the past, I would say, um, since I've been back, home, I am in a different room than uh, my my ex, and I got a lot of help from him to get my furniture set up and whatnot, and I appreciate that. But it's moving forward and putting something more into so anyway, I found out that sometimes people feel that if the other person in their relationship that they're you hear them saying things that are not nice to the other people about how I have been for years, psychologically treated horribly. And it really, put me in a space where I have been rejected and felt rejected. And it's I guess you would say, out of everything that I have felt would be the rejection and then the whole feeling of not wanting to go on in life in general because of all the mental games that are played, and you're going, what do I do to deserve this? And then you have someone say, "Oh, yeah, weird," you know? Oh, my mom was a little weird, but it was after this major accident. She had a brain injury. She never was right afterwards, and we always kind of joked about her. But for my husband to sit there and say, "Oh, you're crazy like your mom or whatever, or you're this," or hold on to the crazy card and tell everyone, "Oh, I'm a depressed person. I've been depressed for years, and I'm dealing with depression like I've never had in my life. I've never had this kind of depression where I just feel like, what is wrong with my life? What is going on?" It's not the point of you know smoking the weed and being happy. It's more than to it than just being happy. You know, when you have that kind of what I would call having that point of perspective where if somebody doesn't want you to be happy, and if you are with somebody who doesn't want you to be happy, if you want to be a lawyer and they don't want lawyers in their life and they tell you, you can't study law because I don't like lawyers, don't marry them. My dad was a lawyer and he knew I wanted to be a lawyer down the line. I was talking about studying law and he's like, "I don't like lawyers." Okay, he doesn't like lawyers. He doesn't like me working outside the house. He doesn't like and you try to figure out, mentally, what can you do so you can feel like a whole person? And then you deal with the psychological effects of what they've done. And they sit there and say stuff, "Oh yeah, she's just crazy," and so of course they're going through a divorce. Anybody who on the other end says that this person's a bad person, this person's bad, anyone who is not going to sit there and say to their mate, "I don't care what you want to be, as long as you're happy and it makes money for the family and it's honest work." That's how it's been in my family. They didn't My dad never said, "Oh, I don't like this profession and I don't want you to be in it." My family's never done anything like that. So in the whole point, if you are dating somebody who tells you what profession you should have and what they want you to do, and they are not happy when you're doing something that makes you happy, then there's a problem. They're gaslighting you. You know, I have been gaslighted for years. I had young children. I didn't I didn't want to do the thing that most people do, and I wish I would have done it. I really do. I wish I would have stood up and had enough friends back then to say, "Okay, I've had enough." And I didn't. And it was my fault. It wasn't the other person's fault. It was my fault because I didn't stand up for who I was as a person to say, my children deserve to have a strong mom, to say, "I can't take it no more. I can't take all that stuff. I can't take being treated like poop no more." If that's the case, then that's what I have to do now. I don't expect people to be happy and to love me. If they do, I get melancholy because I'm through so much stress. And yeah, I wish I really, to be honest, if God came down here now and said, "Steph, you know, I can make everything happy for you and fix it like magic, and you can get your both your husband and you can get your time back and you can move on and you can start over." I would be like, "I'm an evil person and I am not." nice. I mean, he's the type of person that would fuck with your internet. He's the type of person that he got mad when I said, "Hey, you told me my my ex to be told me that the dog's life was worth more than mine. Mine was minuscule and not worth nothing." And this is one time he has said something like this. We're not going on with being told that I was what was it my husband said? He said, "You need to get off your ass and start working out because your ass is so big. We need to put a new zip code on it." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, look at me. Look at my stomach. It's so skinny." Now, mind you, 2 months before I had given birth to Natasha, it was February. Um, and you know what I received for my first I would say 2000 year. It was like my daughter was born in the year 2000. And when she was born, and in February, you know what kind of um, card I received? I didn't receive a card. I was told that I wasn't going to get any Valentine's because I was too fucking fat. My husband says, looking at me when I had really bad, it was like baby blues. You ever heard of baby blues? Oh, they're horrible. I didn't have none with Natasha. I mean, I had nothing with Devin. Baby blues are the one of the most horrible things that you can deal with. You feel like you're not a good mom. You cry all the time. I went through baby blues so bad. I actually asked for help from a therapist and said, "Hey, I'm not feeling very happy. I should be a happy mom. I just gave birth 2 months." And I talked to the therapist and I said, you know, "I'm kind of curious. Is this, happen a lot? Baby blues, you feel sad and all that." And I talked to a neighbor of mine who said she had gone through baby blues so bad that her mother-in-law took care of Frankie. So I was like, "Oh my God, really?" She goes, "Yeah, she had the baby blues where she felt that she wasn't good enough and wanted to end her son's life. And she felt very embarrassed about it. And she said, "Yeah, I'm telling you this so you can feel better that you're only feeling sad that you're not a good mom and that you're overweight." I had gained about 50 pounds after giving birth to my daughter. I was emotionally distraught. I was told by my husband that I was a fucking fat ass and needed to get off my fucking ass. Yes, I'm going to say I got swear words and all. I'm going to put that when I finish up here, that there's a lot of swearing and a lot of F words. So the whole point about being, I guess you would say, when uh, a person goes out and seeks, and they call it gaslighting, when you marry somebody or you're dating somebody who goes out and calls all your friends, when they start calling your friends, that's when you're dealing with someone who's gaslighting you. And that's exactly what my husband does. Calls up my friend. "Hey, hey, 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 don't stay with Steph. Don't hang out with Steph. Don't do anything with Steph. And he would say all this stuff. I had friends from high school who told me that's gaslighting. So when I went on Better Me, they had talked to this one, they had talked about gaslighting and about and they had an article, and I was talking to a friend of mine about it. I go, "That's me. I was told there's underwear." I actually found underwear. I found underwear in a vehicle of mine, And what had happened was after finding underwear in a vehicle, I was told that somebody at his work was having sex in our vehicle. You know how much that makes sense, don't you? When someone tells you that, when they lie to you and they say, instead of saying, you know what, I had an affair, I messed up, but no, they got to make up this story that my friends and I used to laugh about all the time. Who in the hell is going to go in somebody else's car to have fucking sex? And I said, no one I know. I wouldn't want to go in someone else's car because you get caught unless they were looking to get caught. But the whole point was he told my dad the story, and my dad's like, you know, m my dad said that you could smell the shit. That's how much, he said the reason why he didn't want us to get married is because, when you lie to psychic people and after a while we get pissed off. If it's a small lie, if it's a lie to even protect your privacy, we can tell when you're lying. You know, maybe that's why the FBI wanted me. I'm a really great lie detector. I don't get all the lies. I'm like 70% accurate, what I figure, but the other 40%, I would say that, there is a point of, not being able, but if you had a van, let's pretend you had a van and you go out and you and your husband share the van, your husband takes out your van and you are driving the van and you go to clean out the van, you're washing it and you're at a place and you're vacuuming it and you find not just underwear, but Victoria's Secret underwear. First story was it was a hooker. No, hookers don't go with Victoria's Secret. You know, not Detroit hookers. Let me explain this. Detroit hookers back in the 90s did not go with Victoria's Secret. Okay, let me explain that. I remember when Victoria's Secret had their catalog and a neighbor got a hold of my catalog and ordered stuff. I used to have I had a Victoria's Secret credit card. No, I didn't even have a Victoria's Secret credit card. She tried to use a card of mine. And they had called me and said, "Hey, it's going to a different address." I go, "I didn't make the order." So for a long time, I did not buy stuff on, how you say, through the catalog. I used to just call up and do it that way. Well, anyway, what happened was I had been cleaning the van and I found Victoria's Secret underwear. That apparently the one girl I seen when I borrowed the van to get the cats fixed. I've always had cats and I wanted them fixed. And when I was chasing one of the cats after cleaning up the vehicle and putting the cats away, I had found a pair of underwear that would fit the woman that my husband, who was walking out with, had his hand on her ass and didn't know I was there. I don't like being lied to when someone says, yeah, it was a hooker. The Victoria's Secret underwear. This is Detroit. This is like most of these women don't probably wear underwear. I'm just putting it out there. And then he tells me that there's a couple at work that have sex on their lunch. Okay. Are you renting out the van as a little whore vehicle or what? Yeah, I don't know. But I don't like if you ever find any pair of underwear, even if it's from Victoria's Secret or Walmart, he fucked you over. I don't care what story is going to come out. I don't care if he says that his boyfriend, his guy friend, his significant other friend screwed a woman in there. If you find a pair of underwear, your significant other, male or female, has fucked you over. And when he said that to me, and thinking I was that stupid, and to this day he says that, I'm like, underwear. These were the type of underwear you would wear when you expect to get screwed. You know what I mean? They're special underwear. So if you're going to tell your significant other and lie, and you're going to lie to me over and over and over for years about your crap, where I receive phone calls from women who describe your private parts, describe how it's shaped and everything, you have fucked up. And then when you look at your wife and said, call her crazy because she says, hey, I got a call from this woman saying she was so and so. And he goes, you're crazy. That's what he told me one day when I said I received a phone call from a woman, from a black woman who said she knew him and she described his private parts exactly the way they were. Oh, yeah. She described him as if she was a Stephen King novel about his private parts, how she loved him, how he wouldn't leave me, but she loved him and they had crazy shit going on. And at first I thought it was my sister-in-law Mary. So I give her a little jingle on the cell phone and go, hey, you know what? What's going on? You hate me that much? So I went and yelled at her, bitched her out, made her cry. And then she goes, I don't know who this person is. I really don't. She really didn't know who I was talking about. It was the truth. And I was floored. My mother-in-law was pissed at me. Yeah, I made somebody cry and I was pissed. And I wanted answers. The answers were, of course, with my significant other. Now, if he's going to sit there and say and lie and do that, fine. But if you're going to have a man borrow your car, borrow the family car, you share one vehicle, and he uses that vehicle, and you find a pair of women's panties, and he tells you that his friend goes on his lunch breaks and screws his wife. Yeah, screws his wife because that's the only person I knew. And I'm like, why would you want to do it in a nasty van? Hey, Terry. Sorry. I'm not sitting there just saying, okay, this is what I believe. When someone lies to me and it happens for over a period of time, and they tell, I couldn't believe it. And I knew he fucked around on me. I really do. I had friends of mine tell me they've seen him with other women. I've had Kurt tell me, Mary tell me. Now, when Kurt and Mary told me, I usually thought of it as like Mary's never been eye to eye to me. But Mary told me that in order for me to feel safe, she says, you should have Paul wear a rubber. I was like, really? Oh my. Yeah. I don't know if Mary was just saying that because she was drunk or she was just saying that because she wanted to start shit. She liked to start shit all the time. But if you ever find panties that don't belong to you and you lend your car out to your significant other, do not believe that somebody's going to go jump in your car to have fucking sex and leave their Victoria's Secret panties. And we all know that those panties are not cheap. All right. If you leave a comparably $5 to $6 pair of panties, that's in a lot of cases half of people's wages. So just think about that. A woman left a pair of panties as a message to me. I should have back then just said, done. I gave him another chance and another chance. After that, I really wanted to end it. I'm tired. I got tired of getting freaking calls. Back then, cell phones did not have the locking thing. You could put a code in and you're great. You can have your phone on the table, no one checks it. But back in the 90s, they didn't have that. You can pick up anybody's cell phone and get their would leave a his phone out and they would say, I just get your number. It would say, usually if are you have like a phone number, Usually they would call me, they'd write it down. I would get, well, you're just, I would tell them, you're working with my sister-in-law. I would not believe it. And it was after seeing the fact of a pair of panties in a van that was shared by my husband and me. And it wasn't just any kind of panties. It wasn't Walmart panties. It wasn't crap. It was nice. It came from a cami set. And the reason why I know it came from a cami set, because I wanted that same set and I couldn't afford it because it was like $65 for this big cami set. It was from a Christmas thing in the 90s, and I really wanted this set back then. I didn't get it, but that came from a cami set. It was like a special, you had the cami and the panties. It was like this whole big set that they had sold over a couple months earlier. And I had said to my husband that it those were fuck panties. I said, those were when you get with your significant other and you want to go, look what I got on my private parts. And that's what you do. And that's fine when you're working with somebody who isn't married. And I had to deal with that, and him telling me that I was crazy for thinking that expensive $20 panties that were left there, they were left there as a message because she was well off. And she knew she was well off enough. When you have somebody who's well off enough to leave $20 panties back in the 90s, you know how much they would be comparable now? Because it came with a set. It was a whole set, so you would have to like figure out. And I was like, wow, that's expensive underwear. That's underwear. That is not what you leave behind. You leave behind those type of things when you want a message. I screwed your husband and you can't do nothing about it. And I ate it up. I was just as guilty as the party. All I could have done is walk away from the whole thing. And I would have. But I really wanted to believe. I really, really wanted to believe my husband. I thought that he was the man that wanted to be married to me, and I would receive phone calls. I would receive, and he would play these mind games. He would call my friends up when I would say, I no longer want to be with you. Could we be separated? Maybe you can get a small apartment somewhere else. Maybe we can figure out what we're going to do. This is before Natasha came about. And I said, I just wanted to not be lied to anymore. I just wanted to be with someone who wanted to be with me, not with me and 10 other girls who love me. I didn't want to be worshipped, but God, I could not get it. And now I get why my family looked at my significant other the way, because I believed all those lies, because I ate up everything. He did not want me to have a career. He did not want me to work out of the house. He did not want me to leave the house. I had to tell him where I was going and how long I would be. If I was late, he would call everywhere. When the only time I ever went against his wishes when I wanted to see the Mummy, and I had to go in my old neighborhood in Oakland County, which is in Michigan. I went from my other county in Detroit to Oakland County. So I went to Oakland County over at Bear movie in a nice new theater back then. And I was so excited. I seen the movie, turned off my cell phone, did exactly that. And I told Paul all through the week, I'm going to go to Bear Cross. I'm going to go to this mall and I want to see the opening of, of this movie. So I went and I was so happy. I picked up Devin. And now, mind you, I haven't turned on my cell phone and I usually didn't receive calls unless it was an emergency. Back then, they were quite expensive cell phones. So I picked up Devin and I turned on the cell phone and there was over 150 phone calls. 150. Most of them were for my significant other. He wanted to know where the fuck I was. He was at work and he was keeping thumbs on me. I spent a day without talking to him and he said that I could never do that again. He told me I was an evil fucking cunt. How dare I go? I went to the movies. Hey.
Yeah, doing more of your stupid video stuff.
Yeah, I got it live.
Here you go.
Thanks.
What are you talking about, evil cunt?
Oh, you remember The Mummy? When I went to see The Mummy one time, the first one?
Well, the first two are good. The third one sucked.
Yeah, it did. The third one jumped the shark.
And it's not the original actors.
No. Well, what happened was I went to go over to, what's that mall? It's called Crossings with the Rainforest Cafe and stuff.
I was a kid. It's very vague memories there.
So anyway, I went there to watch the movie. It was in the 90s. I went there and I told your dad that I was going to watch this video. Is that yours?
Mm-hmm. Thomas got it for me.
Oh, fuck, that's cool. Look, I got to show this. Look at this. So anyway, what happened was my husband called over 100 times. I have someone, now mind you, he says that I'm nutty.
Who?
Your father was talking to one of his friends. He said pretty much I'm a crazy pants. I'm Princess Crazy Pants.
Anyway, I might be going to bed. I don't know. It's just I've been feeling like crap because it's when the other wisdom tooth is starting to bother me.
Yeah.
I need to get that removed now.
All right. Well,
it's been bothering me a lot.
Okay.
At least this one's not bothering me anymore. But
yeah. Okay. We'll see what we can do. So anyway, what had happened was the fact that I knew in my heart he was lying, and I knew in my soul he was lying. I don't expect my friends to stand by me, but if they do, I'd be very appreciative. You know, I want to do a shout out. This beautiful bed, and I got a whole 1, 2, 3, 4 piece for a really good price. I want to thank Carol. Carol's been a really good friend. I love you. You're a goddess. I figure I haven't been on here Monday. I had no bedroom set up. I still have to clean my room, and I'm to that point where I have been lied to. But I want to show you. This is a voicemail. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18. I have 18 recorded from my significant other. And this is where I was born. I wanted out for a long time. And I wish he would go, well, he said, this divorce is not a good thing. And I go, well, finding women's panties in your van isn't a good thing either. You know, worrying about getting diseases from you isn't a good thing either. You know, being told that your dog is got a higher status in your house isn't a good thing either. And that's recent, mind you. That is around my birthday. That is what I was told. I was told pretty much for years, I'm a piece of shit. So one day when I started working at ACC, I started feeling better about myself. I really thought, wow, I feel good about myself. This was the first job that really let me go and get surgery and I can come back to a job. They actually allowed me to go get surgery. I was gone for 3 weeks. I took 2 weeks and I said, you know what? I want to take an extra week just to be sure. And they were cool with that. That was so nice. It was. It was really nice because I never had a job that really cared about, my well-being. And I just thought, I just really miss them. But what happened was before I would my surgery was last year around this time. I had my surgery, and what had happened was they beforehand in July, beginning of July, I started swimming and I started an app. Um, and I started watching what I ate and I started swimming a lot. By the time fall came about this time of year, I started exercising inside the house and I would do like the cross training thing and it helped. But then it wasn't enough. I went on a Better Me app and when I went, Casey, welcome. Thank you. So when I went on the Better Me app, it worked with weights and my stomach. I got a stomach of steel now. So anyway, I started feeling better about myself. And people noticed that ACC. They were like, "Hey, you look great. You look good." I would go to work and I felt like I was a goddess. I'm the goddess, Stefania. I'm the goddess. Yeah, I had a few burps and farts and ah, I got my Steffi press-on nails, so it's hard to type. These I broke already. They were supposed to be unbreakable. I had to file them down. There I got now. So, we're not having turkey because you have to defrost it, so we're having rump roast. I figured rump roast and it's meal. I said, "We'll have to do the turkey." What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the turkey for, blah, 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 Christmas. And in order to do that, it's a week planning thing. I I have to clean out the fridge. I have to make room for turkey to be in there and blah blah blah. We were talking about uh okay, you want to hear the story? Okay. Here's all right. We're going to say about we're going to say over 15 years ago, Paul and I shared a car, a van. Um Voyager. We used to call it the Voyager. We had the Voyager van my dad gave us. Now, my anyway, it wasn't good enough. I heard my significant other bitch about that. Getting something free isn't good enough. So he had I had used the vehicle and found a pair of panties. Now we're not talking any kind of panties. We're talking, you remember in the 90s when they used to come out with these piece outfits, they had special these freaking silk fucking panties. They were $30 panties in this deal, and it was a big deal. Everyone went to buy it, and I didn't have the money to buy it because it was $85 back in the 90s. It was like now 150 bucks. No one would spend that for that, but oh, they were silk panties, so they were a big deal. I found silk panties, a $30 pair of panties in my vehicle, and I said, I found a pair of panties. Now, I didn't show it to my significant other. I didn't say, hey, look at these panties. They're silk panties. I knew what they were because I shopped there. I love Victoria's Secret. I walked around and used to oogle at the shit because I couldn't afford it. Well, anyway, what happened was I had said that these panties were found in your vehicle. Yeah, that's a big ouch. And you know what my significant other said? His friends go into our vehicle and have sex all the time. They don't know it, but they do. I'm like, really? Paul, I pull out these panties and his eyes got like saucer big. These came from a special outfit. You only wear those outfits called fuck outfits. The ones, they're not super sexy. They're not with the garter belts. They're with the cami and the whole thing. They were a big deal because they were all silk. They were big. And it was like, oh, we're selling it for 85 instead of 150. And they were, do you remember that? Yeah, exactly. It's his friend fucking his girlfriend in the vehicle, which makes as much sense as me using my husband's dick to have sex with another man. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. When your significant other tells you that somebody else's girlfriend's panties are his best friend's girlfriend's panties, that's just wrong. And it puts me as being stupid. I wasn't stupid, guys. I was in love and I thought my husband loved me too. But after years of people calling me up, remember the cell phones, Casey? Cell phones didn't have the lock that they do now. You could pick up anybody's cell phone and look up who the contents were. And all these women would look up wife. And there I was. I get phone calls. I knew when Paul was pissed at me because I would get all the women calling me because Paul would consider that I screwed everything like he did. My significant other thought I was so stupid, I would believe that a $30 pair of panties were his friend's girlfriend. Now, mind you, I knew his girlfriend. We hung out with the same people too. Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people forget. Women will talk. We will go, hey, you know, have you been in my vehicle having sex? And that's what I asked her because I told her the story, and she said, "Oh no, Paul's significant other, Poopy Pants, had been with this chick, and she described her as the same one Poopy Pants was walking out the door with, while his hand was pretty much on her, not her crotch, her ass crack. It looked like that, but he had his hand on their ass. I caught it. I get it. We all screw up. Don't lie to me. I was lied for so long, and he's believed these lies. I am tired of it. Don't ask me for second chances. You've had many, many. Yeah. And that's how I feel, though. I feel that you want to lie to somebody who's a normal. They can even, common sense would come out and say, a $30 pair of panties. That was a message to me. What would be the bigger man? Saying, honey, I know you're going to be mad. I know you're going to yell at me and tell the truth. But that never happened. I always expected that he would do that. I was always waiting for him to go, I am so sorry. Yeah, I did fuck up. But it never happens. And he'll never, never admit that he had this full blown affair going on. And it is that was one of the reasons why I'm no longer going to be with him, because it's like one lie after another lie. And then he goes and calls my friends. Oh, yeah, I'm melancholy. I'm going through a lot of shit. I cannot go. I would go to work as my salvation. I go to ACC. My salvation was ACC, and I build myself up through the day. And I used to sit when I used to be in packaging. I used to sit and going, God, give me strength to go home, give me strength. And that's what I would do. I would be praying at work, going, I would literally look up and look up at the ceiling, and I would say, God, just give me strength to go home. So I could be treated like shit. So I can hear that I am lower than the dog. So I can hear that I don't matter. That, oh, you're just crazy. You're just crazy. That's what he used to say when I'd find the underwear, when I would question all the telephone calls, when I would ask about stuff. He tried my father called it the crazy trail. And I said, what's a crazy trail? Your husband, he had said, had come up to him and asked me about my mental well-being. And my dad just looked at him and said, don't even go that way. Don't even. My daughter is fine. If you have to, as a person, doesn't matter if you're male or female, and you're going up to friends and saying that somebody is not mentally stable because you are not mentally stable, is not my deal. I am not dealing with that. It's not my fault. For the first time in my life, I can be able to I can buy stuff that I've always wanted. I went into Hot Topic. I fit into a freaking size 5. I'm in a size 4. This is kind of, I feel they're kind of a little tight, but they're just tight up on the upper, but it's not that bad. I'm fitting into a size 4. I have a different pair of pants that are size 5 from Hot Topic, and I bought 2 cute skirts, and I'm really happy. You know, for the first time, I can actually buy it without looking at it and trying it on and wishing I had it to bring home. So I was able to treat my daughter and get broke because she is in such badly need of, jeans and stuff. They've been stolen where she has been living with uh her boyfriend. So I just want to let you guys know. I just Mature audience is here, even though I act like a complete idiot sometimes. And I'm going to be honest. Yes, I do act like a complete idiot. I'm not wearing no makeup. I am pretty much here for you. Oh, but I am going to show you. I got this at the Grove. This is really, I like this really a lot. I like it because the flavor is good. It gives you a good, um, when sometimes every high is different, and some highs make you tired, some highs make you too much where you jumping around. Woo! And what I like about Chiba Chews is that it tastes fresh. I know it sounds weird. It tastes like, oh, they just baked it yesterday, and look at that. Okay, it comes in like this, and it has like the little warning symbol, and then you have this, and you just open it, kind of, it'll pop, and then easily comes out. And kind of, it'll pop. There's a warning symbol on the back. Yes, you could probably take these and they can be used as, look, would you like a chew? Hi, Aunt Miriam. How are you? Yeah, I know you're the Karen of the neighborhood. Would you like to have a chew? Oh, yeah, I've heard stories about Karens not realizing, getting into cars and suing the people who gave them the shoes. So be careful what Karen you give them to, and make sure they're not driving. because they couldn't sue you legally. That's why they put the warning signs, because people were using edibles as, hey, Joe Blow, you want to trust? And now they were getting high. So be careful about the chews that you are giving out, especially around holidays. People don't realize that on the legal point, wherever you are at, every state and even county is different than, where you're at. So, what I like about Nevada, their laws are almost comparable to California laws because we have entertainers here over in Vegas. Thankfully, I can understand law good enough with that. So, this is so good, chocolate. Mm, mm. When you deal, if your significant other, and this is what my dad would say, and my grandma mainly was worried. Um, when you're a psychic person and you go somewhere where there's a lot of spirits, or there's one spirit, I swear to God, at my old work at ACC, there was a guy, and it was a ghost. It was a spirit. You can say, you can make fun of me all you want. It was a spirit. I call it the executive bathroom. It was the biggest bathroom. It was way at the end. I go in there. I got room. I felt like it was, they could put a table in there. So anyway, I'm sitting in the executive bathroom doing my stuff, and I hear shoes sound different when you wear like plastic shoes, like the plastic, like hard plastic like this, sounds different when you walk. Then leather leather shoes sound different on cement and on floors than any difference, because I have shoes that with soles made out of leather. They sound different. And those were a I guess you would say a pair of shoes, and you could see them at the door, and I knew it was a spirit because that's all I seen. That was just the shoes. There was no legs, just the shoes. He liked them shoes, I guess. That's all I could get. I wasn't scared. I really get pissed off at spirits. And I usually tell them my private times are in the bathroom and when I'm sleeping. Don't fuck with me. And when I do get fucked with, they pay a price where I'm like, I banish them away to leave me alone for a 24-hour period. I'm done. I don't like playing around, and I don't. And I've learned to protect myself. So I told him, I said, I don't like being bothered, but I know you're bothered with somebody. And I think that you need to move on. And I would tell him to move on. And nothing happened. And, it was like, it was really weird. I was sitting in a bathroom at my work talking to a spirit, and I never was bothered again after that, ever. I never felt scared. I didn't, I just said, hey, leave me alone. This is my bathroom time. You don't want to be bothered. And that was, and I said, I felt that there was a presence, and it's a male, but I didn't feel that there was any female presence, any child presence. It felt like I wouldn't say like really a long time ago. Well, maybe about 50 years ago, maybe in the 70s, could be in the 60s, but I would probably say in the 70s. Just the shoe style, the look of it. It first looked like it was old, but it was something that was popular also in the 70s because I looked them up. And a lot of styles, as we know, come back over and over, and we re-wear, and just like I see the 80s coming back in a big way. it's like, wow, that was really a good idea, and they pull it back. Vans was the biggest thing in the 80s. And when I bought a pair this year. A good idea, and they pull it back. Vans was the biggest thing in the 80s. And when I bought a pair this year. I could not believe that they were from the 80s. They had looked like brand new. The story behind my Vans is they came from um, a store in Oklahoma that was owned by a couple. They had children. Their children didn't want nothing to do with the shoe business, so they sold the whole lock, stock, and barrel to this company. And this guy said he worked for the company and he was doing all the inventory. And way in the back, somebody had a pair of Vans that were to be saved for a guy. He never came to pick them up. And it was in the 80s. So he said, I actually have a brand new, it still had the tags and everything from that time. There was no special logos and stuff that we have now. It was just like, it was like a time machine. The guy said that the shoes were like a time machine. The father made a lot of money from the shoes and never really cleaned up the place and did what most shoe places do now to minimize shortages. So that was really neat. I got these pair of shoes with a story, and they said, because I really thought they were just bullshit. And you just went, somebody bought a pair, they put it in a pair, and like I told him, are you sure you didn't just leave them out? And they weren't perfectly white. There wasn't the black and white checkers that were the white checkers were perfectly. They have some discoloration from age, but you can't tell when you really look at them. You could tell when you just walk by, they just look regular. I don't care. They fit. They're not, they didn't go through major changes in aspect, degrees. So not leather, the rubber is in good condition. Everything is in good condition because it was always air conditioned or heated accordingly. So I got these Vans. I thought I was the shiza, I'm the shiza. So I was so excited, you know. I in order to Vans back in the 80s were over $100. We're talking the 80s where most people were making $2.35 a mile. These are good. They were working to buy a pair of Vans would take a week of wages. Yeah. So I looked to my grandmother, who was not a shoe person. I wanted the shoes. And she wouldn't let me get them. Oh, she said, $100. Oh God. I thought she was going to give birth. Yeah. Uh, there was something I've been wanting to tell you guys for a long time. I'm going to open it. A while back, I had to go through 5 years of therapy because of this. The courts actually said that that was a really good idea, that what my dad did was more accommodating than what the courts would even ask because of the severity of malnutrition that I went through. My dad married a woman that he met through church. Okay. Meanie had come from a simpler means. Her mother was a head nurse in Pontiac State Hospital at the time, and helped her daughter become a nurse too by doing her homework and everything. Yeah, trust me, her daughter was not that smart because I found out later on. You see, Steffi likes to play games, and her daughter, who was supposed to have extremely high IQ, couldn't figure out half my games. The game called I'm going to call a friend and pretend I'm going somewhere and not go anywhere and stay home. Oh, I love that game. She would work. She worked at a rest home and she had friends who weren't working and she would check up on me. I got tired of that game of checking up. Checking up is not fun. So when you play the game called Checking Up, don't play it with me. Guaranteed I'll win. I have a lot of fun with the game called Checking Up. So Jane would listen on to my telephone calls. You see, when you have a fan and it goes around, it makes a noise go. So she would pick up the phone, you hear the fan's go. The fan is going. You can hear it's her. Can't be that stupid. Really? Oh, I just thought you know what I told my dad? I said, you can't be that damn stupid to believe that I'm going to let you tell me what to do when you don't know what yourself is doing. Right, whatever. So anyway, what happened was a whole bunch of times I sent them out on wild goose chases, like real wild. Well, I had a friend who was from Los Angeles and she was an actress. I wanted her to call and pretend that she was one of my friends from high school. I never thought she would ever in a million years call me. This is long distance. Mind you, during the day, long distance can run you more than what you can pay for a psychic on California Psychics. Kid you not a minute. So I don't know how she did it, but she called me up and I acted like everything was cool. We sent them on a cow tipping. We had managed a whole storyline to put for cow tipping and where it was at. It was in a really it would rained a lot, so it meant your vehicle, if you didn't have a four-wheel drive, which none of her friends had four-wheel drives, and I knew, you get stuck. So her friend got stuck and they never checked on me after that. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how she ever called. I never expected her to call. I think she was bored. I really do. She called out of boredom, not because she was a good friend. It was just like, hey, I'm bored. Let's have some fun. So let me tell you what holidays that I grew up in, what we used to do. My grandmother lived in Colton, and my grandparents built their house. They had a house and they had other houses that were built that they would rent to people. But our family gatherings were very immense. They were huge, and we had a blast. You had Polish and German. A lot of my cousins are blonde, and that's why I never really got into dating blondes because I thought, God damn, I have to deal with these suckers. I have twin cousins called Dean and Don. I call them the Ding Dong brothers. They were they drove me nuts. We played practical jokes so much that I got hurt. I got hurt so bad. When I got hurt in the practical joke, it was a water slide. It was through a pool. They turned off the water. When it's 115 degrees, that water goes by real quick. I had bruises from the bottom of my butt all the way going down that and burn marks. Oh yeah, I actually burned. Yeah. After that, it was no longer accepted playing the practical jokes. After that, it was no longer accepted playing the practical jokes. I found a picture of my bruises for the longest time. She was like talking about that. That really bothered her because she never thought. And it was like a joke. Like I tell people, a lot of people don't realize when it gets out of hand how bad it will get out of hand. It could be bruises that you could see or bruises that we can't see, you know. And one time, God, I feel so bad. I don't ever want people to think I fat shame people. A friend of mine heard I was joking. I'm so sorry. I was saying about somebody I was working with at ACC. And I go, well, they got a stomach too. I was mad because I was having a hard time losing weight. When you lose weight, you'll lose weight, you'll lose weight, and then you'll go through a plateau. For a month and a half, I went on a plateau. I couldn't lose a half a pound, an ounce. I was just mad. So a person at work that had a nice body, I fat shamed them and said, well, they're not perfect. They got a little pooch on their stomach. And I feel bad. I do. If I fat shame somebody, I don't want that. I don't want to even have that because I had it done to me. I've been told after giving birth to Natasha that I wasn't, you know, whatever. So let's see. So you like my outfit? It's my festive. Wait till Christmas. So anyway, I got a Who. I'm going to turn it on. It's blinky lights. I got blinker lights. So there we go. It's a Who tree. It's a Who. I really thought it was neat though. I have to get a list when I go into Home Depot because I almost feel like, oh, pretty stuff. What the heck is the thing with the Christmas trees being exorbitantly expensive for the fake Christmas trees? Last year, there was Christmas trees for like dirt cheap. This year, everything is 50% higher. So I'm like, crap. A lot higher. So, yeah, I was going to get a Christmas tree and put it in my room. I still am. I'm not saying nothing. I got to get this room clean. I got like a pile here. I got a pile here. Oh. So anyway, I like to tell people if you have a relationship where you're already having to hear your significant other, doesn't matter if it's male or female, your significant other lie to you and think that you actually believe that lie. I never made big waves over the panties thing because it really, I already felt stupid because most of my neighbors actually felt bad for me. They really did. They thought I was a nice person being screwed over. That's what one of the guys said. He goes, if your significant other didn't have you, what? I go, I'd be dead. I told the guy I was afraid to leave my significant other because I really believe you to a certain point, but I really need to talk to Steph too. I don't want to get involved. Never get involved. When somebody is getting divorced, do not take sides because once you take sides, you will lose that other person. And it's a guarantee. I've had friends who gotten divorced and it's either the woman or the man. And usually I go with my friend. I'm not friends with you, so I will go with who I'm already friends with. I gotta call Devin. Call Devin. Hey, it says your connection is unstable. Please wait while we are trying to reconnect. I have horrible internet. It didn't even do this when I was at my other specialty place. Why am I have crap internet. Could you, all right, thank you. It says right here, your connection is unstable. Please wait while we are reconnecting. That's what it says on my YouTube studio. It's been all the time. Do you need to, I have no internet here, and it's been happening a lot. My normal internet, because I've never had to use any adapter here. And I don't know where all the cords are with the adapter right now. I'd have to go through all my stuff. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks.
I can do it from my room.
Oh, you could do it from your room?
Yeah, I got everything set up.
Okay, here, let me go tell Natasha. I'll be right back, guys. I got to go and tell my daughter because they're playing live and they're playing a game. So, here, I'll put this. Have a little blinking light. There you go. There now. Blinking light. There's not one in this stick. I put too many. I just went OG. I'll be back. All right. Hey, guys.